Hi guys, welcome to MathsWithConnor. Today we're going to be going through expanding and simplifying double and triple brackets. We'll go through the basics first and then we'll move on to the triple brackets at the end. So the idea with this is we start with x times x and x times 4 and 3 times x and 3 times 4. So that's the same basis we go through the whole way. So we'll start with x times x, which gives us x squared. X times 4, which gives us positive 4x. 3 times x, which gives us a positive 3x, and 3 times 4, which gives us a positive 12. So that is the expanding done. Then we need to simplify. So we go x squared plus 7x plus 12. And that is it. The next equation, we introduce a minus, but we do the same principle. So x times minus 3, 5 times x, and 5 times minus 3. So we end up x squared times x times 3 is minus 3x, 5 times x is positive 5x, and 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. So x squared minus 3 plus 5 is positive 2x, and then minus 15 at the end. And then we'll go on to the two minus brackets, so we end up with x times x times minus 6, minus 2 times x, and so on. So x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 12. And we have a plus 12 there because it's a negative times a negative. So this is the scenario that gives us so the only way this n number can become a positive is either both numbers are positives or both numbers are negatives. So as you see here, we've got a positive and a minus, and that gives us a negative number at the end. So when it comes to factorizing, you're able to work out if you need a plus or minus, a minus, a plus and plus. But anyway, we'll simplify this. So we go x squared minus 8x plus 12. And a common mistake here, guys, is that people think that they need to do, because it's a minus 6 and a minus 2x, that they then need to make some sort of positive here. But it really is just to simplify, minus 6, take away a further 2, which gives us a minus 8x. So when you go on to questions like this and you see it in the brackets, all we're doing, essentially we have two sets of these, which is exactly the same as what we've got above. So we simplify it out first, x plus 3 and x plus 3, like that. And then we continue to do what we did above. So we end up with x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. So x plus 3, x plus 3, it's exactly the same as above, and we've simplified that to x squared plus 6x plus 9. And it's as simple as that, guys. Exact same here, so we end up with x minus 4 and x minus 4. So we end up with x squared minus 4x plus 16. So minus times a minus gives us the positive at the end. So to simplify, x squared minus 8x plus 16. As simple as that. And then we go on to this one. This is the first one where we introduce a number in front of the x, but this is exactly the same principle as above. So we end up with 2x plus 1 and 2x plus 1. So this gives us a 4x squared. So we've got 2 times 2 and x, and the x times the x, which gives us 4x squared rather than normal x squared. So we've got 2x times 1, which is 2x plus 2x, and 1 times 2x again, so another positive 2x, and then 1 times 1, which gives us 1. So we end up with 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. And that is that. So now we move on to not quite the triple brackets, but nearly there. So there's sort of 3 processes to this. So we start with expanding and simplifying these 2 brackets just like we've done above with the rest of them. So we end up with x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 15, just like that. And then we have all of that together. We simplify that down to give us x squared plus 8x plus 15. And then we times every single piece of this by x. So we end up with x cubed plus 8x squared plus 15x. So there's no need to get confused by this, guys. All we do is wait to the end of this. So work at your 2 double brackets and then simplify it down, and at the end of it just times everything through by x, and it's every single piece by x. So you should end up x cubed and x squared and an x. We'll do exactly the same here. So x times x squared. So minus, whichever way around you do it. I sometimes choose to do minus 2x first, but you can do the plus 4x there. But plus 4x minus 2x and then minus 8. So again, we simplify x squared plus 4x minus 2x is positive 2x, and then minus the 8 times everything through by the x at the start, and we end up with x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x. Just like that, guys. So again, it's exactly the same as what we've done before, and we'll do it one final time with two negative brackets here. So we end up with x squared minus 7x minus 3x plus 21. So obviously we get the positive again from a minus times a minus. Simplify down, x squared minus 10x plus 21. And not forgetting this x, we bring the x back down into here, and we end up with that and that. So we end up with x cubed minus 10x squared plus 21x. And that is that. So the final part of this, we then move on to triple brackets. So this is where it gets slightly more complicated, but we follow the same process as what we've done above. So first you start with, so this is essentially x plus 3, x plus 3, and x plus 3, just like that. So you can hide this one for the minute and just work out the first two. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. And then we simplify that down to x squared plus 9x, plus 6x plus 9. So once we've got that, we then times everything by x plus 3 again. So bring that one back down. So x squared times x is x cubed, plus, so 6x times x is plus 6x squared, plus 9 times x is plus 9x, and then x squared times 3, which is plus 3x squared, 6x times 3, which is plus 18x, and then 9 times 3, which is 27. So we simplify all of that down, so we have one x cubed item, so one x cubed there. So we've got 6x squared and 3x squared, so that gives us plus 9x squared. And then we've got, okay, there's a plus, so that is 9x plus 18x, which is 27x. And then the final number on its own is a plus 27. And that is that. That is it for triple brackets. And we'll squeeze in one more as well. I'll try to do this one as well. So we've got same principle again, x minus 4 brackets, x minus 4, and x minus 4. So start, again, hide this one, do the first ones here. So x squared minus 4x plus 16. So simplify down to x squared minus 8x plus 16. And then we times everything by x minus 4, just like we did in the previous one. So x squared times x, so I'll just cover that round quickly. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times minus 4 is minus 4x squared. One second. X cubed times, so okay, we're doing it slightly differently here. We've gone straight into that, but then we can move to the minus 8x, so it's minus 8x squared, and then minus 8x times minus 4, which is positive 32x plus 32x, and then we've got 16 times x, which is plus 16x, and then we've got 16 times minus 4, which is minus 32, 64. So that, and then again we simplify, so we have the singular x cubed on its own, minus 4x squared minus 8x squared, so that gives us minus 12x squared, plus 32x plus 16x, which is plus 48x, and then minus 64 at the end. So yeah, this is slightly different, guys. I actually did this times both of them in one go, rather than this times that, this times this, and this times this. Both ways exactly the same, it doesn't matter, just end up with your numbers in different orders. So here we've got the x squareds together, and here the x squareds are apart, and yeah, and so on and so on. So we will do this one separately in a second. We'll move on to these bottom two here, and we'll go back and finish that one off there because there's no room for it. So this one's exactly the same again, but obviously we have different numbers. So rather than the same numbers here, we have different numbers, but the principle is exactly the same. So we'll start with the x plus 1 and x plus 2. It doesn't matter which ones you do, guys. You could start with x plus 2 and x plus 4, or miss out the middle one, do x plus 1, x plus 4, as long as you times them all together at the end. So we start with these two at the front. So we end up with x squared plus 2x plus 1x plus 2. And it's important, guys, some people choose not to. You can choose to just not put the 1 in front of it, but sometimes it helps you remember that that is actually a 1. And people often, when they're simplifying, forget that this is a 1x or a 1x squared. So sometimes it's easy to put the 1 in front. But anyway, so x squared plus 3x plus 2 is our final answer there, plus 3x plus 2. And then we have to times everything again by x plus 4. So x squared times x gives us x cubed. X squared times plus positive 4, which is plus 4x squared. 3x times x, which is 3x squared. 3x times 4, which is plus 12x. 2 times x, which is plus 2x, and 2 times 4, which is positive 8. So to simplify this down, so that's the expanding fully done in this process. We simplified this. So we start with x cubed. The x cubed is on its own in this instance. The 2x squared, when you do it like this and times the difference between this one and this one, obviously because you keep the x squareds together, it probably makes it much easier to simplify because you've got the x squareds there, the x is there, number at the end, and the x cubed here. So you're able to, it just makes it easier to simplify. We've got the plus 4 and the plus 3, so that gives us the plus 7x squared. 12 plus 2 plus 14x, and then the positive 8 at the end. So that is the example of how to simplify, or expand and simplify triple brackets. We will now do one more. So this one we've got a couple minuses incorporated, but the principle is exactly the same. So I'm just going to put that around there to sort of clarify and segregate it. So we'll start with the x minus 1 and the x plus 2. So we end up with x squared, x plus 2, so plus 2x minus 1x, and then minus 2, because minus 1 times 2. So to simplify that, x squared plus 1x minus 2. And then we expand that again with the third bracket and incorporate that. X squared times the x gives us the x cubed. X squared times minus 3 gives us minus 3x squared. Plus 1x times x is plus 1x squared. Plus 1x times minus 3 is minus 3x. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. And minus 2 times minus 2 is a positive 6. So all we've got to do then, guys, is simplify this. X cubed minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2x squared. Minus 3 minus 2 is a minus 5x, and then a positive 6 at the end. So guys, one of the key parts here, and a common mistake, is people often try and times these or get confused when the minuses are together. Once you've expanded these, you then just have to put them in number orders. Just imagine there's numbers in front of them. You had a 1x cubed there, that's on its own. And just forget the x squared parts are there. Keep them together, but forget about that. You've got minus 3 plus 1, so then you've got the minus 2. And then you've got the minus 3 minus 2. And if that was in a normal sum, it would be minus 5. People often get confused by the fact there's x's there. And if you ever wanted to, you could put minus 3x to the power of 1 and minus 2x to the power of 1. And then it keeps it x cubed, x squared, x to the power 1s, and the numbers on their own. So if there's any questions on these, guys, feel free to drop me a message. And I look forward to showing you the next topic. Thank you very much. Bye.